Hi, friends. So I'm Matthew Wickman. I'm the University Professor of English at Brigham University. I'm also the Communications Director for the Society for the Study of Christian Spirituality. And I'm here today with Glen Scorgie, who's Professor of Theology Emeritus at Bethel University. He's also a former president of the Society for the Study of Christian Spirituality. And he's the current editor of the journal Spiritus, which is the Society's flagship journal. Glen, my friend, it's very good to see you. Um, and I've got 5 questions for you that involve your work and your perspective onto the journal Spiritus and the Society and more. So let's begin here. You are the Journal of Spiritus, a journal I love, and you've played many roles for the Society and many other roles in parts of your academic life. Did you ever see yourself coming to serve as the editor of the Society's flagship journal, and how did this come to be?
Well, it was something I could have dreamed of, but didn't really aspire to because I had so much respect for the previous editors. It's really one of the keys to why I fell in love with the Society for the Study of Christian Spirituality. The journal really was a breath of fresh air for me when I first encountered it, and the beautiful combination of aesthetics and mystery and wonder, along with rigorous scholarship. So, when I was about to transition out of full-time teaching, this opportunity fell in my lap to help out. And it just seemed like perfect timing. And it's been a real privilege. And I can't underscore enough what a joy it is to be interacting with wonderful scholars around the world who have a mutual interest in spirituality. And I'm just so dependent too on the team we have, our poetry editor and the art and the book review. It's just a wonderful, wonderful group. And I'm just so grateful that it worked out in the way it did.
I love the journal, and I think you're doing a fantastic job, Glenn. So thank you for that. And thank you for the work you're doing, by the way, in that role. So here's my second question. So this video is probably going to upload onto the website after the fall issue of Spiritus comes out. And as I understand it, inside that issue, there's going to be a kind of a history of the journal that's published there. And I'm wondering how you would assess that history, the history of Spiritus, especially in light of the journal's vision. Um, has the journal's vision changed at all across its 25 years? If so, how has it changed? And if it's not changed, does that vision still attract the same kind of work? I guess in short, the way of condensing all this is to ask this: what in your mind has stayed the same with the journal, and what is different about the journal today?
Well, it is true. We're 25 years on now and are celebrating that anniversary milestone of a quarter century. The journal originated in this very natural, organic way out of people with a renewed passion, discovery of Christian spirituality as something really important that mattered and needed to be approached not subjectively, but academically and rigorously and respectfully. And so these amazing scholars, erudite, accomplished, found each other, and the journal just emerged out of that in a very natural way. And many of us who are close to it do feel that we're in a kind of transitional, passing the baton to the next generation right now. And that's always, you wonder, are we in a liminal space here? What's going to happen next? But I think that a lot of scholars nowadays are having to pedal harder to keep up. I think that's a general assessment of the academy right now. And I'm thinking, well, what's the silver lining to that dark cloud? And I think it's this, that in times that require us to concentrate our minds more intently, we push aside the peripheral things like dilettantism. And now we only have time for what really matters. I'm sensing a deeper urgency to do the difficult task of writing on what really matters, cut to the chase, focus, and that could be a wonderful new phase in Spiritus's history. The backdrop, of course, is that we're going through a revolution in communication that's every bit as significant as the Gutenberg revolution when 500 years ago the printing press changed everything. And we're not certain of just what impact that's going to have on print media generally. But in the meantime, one of the wonderful things about being part of Spiritus is I think the adage applies, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And we've got a pretty good model that we've inherited. And until people start expressing discontent, we're going to stick with the program and press forward.
Oh, that makes me happy because I love the model, and there's still such great work published there, Glenn. So thank you for that. The third question here, and this is kind of moving from the journal to the society itself. And the question here is, like the last one I asked you. So you served as president of the society in, I think it was 2019, and so you have a perspective onto the society that's kind of a privileged one. As you think about the society and its mission, I'm wondering what you think has remained consistent throughout the society's history, and what, if anything, is changing for the society.
Well, we were founded by some awesome matriarchs and patriarchs in the discipline. It's really quite remarkable. But the pioneering figures are retiring or moving on. The thing that I think we can take heart from at this point is that, if anything, the culture-wide interest in spirituality is only intensifying. And I think that at the root of that is an intuitive sense that the modern perception of being human is inadequate, that there's more to being human than these transactional consumerist models allow. And so I think in the midst of this, there's this tremendous opportunity to tap into and respond and serve what is really a huge culture-wide cry of the heart. And so I hope that our generation, or I should say, because I'm getting a little long in the tooth myself, that the emerging generation will rise to this challenge with real creativity and imagination, as the early pioneers did theirs.
May it be so. Thank you. I love that. Here's a question, a fourth question here, Glenn, for you.
Yeah.
It's about the relationship between society and both university culture then and kind of life outside sort of universities. I'm wondering if you can think of a positive impact that, in your view, the society itself has made, the Society for the Study of Christian Spirituality, that it's made to university culture. And is there an area or subject outside the university that where you think has made a strong impact, or where you'd like to see it make a strong impact?
Well, in the early days of the Society for the Study of Christian Spirituality, there was this heady aspiration that we are about to introduce to the academy a brand new discipline on par with anthropology and geology and literature. It's called spirituality, and we're going to have our own departments and our own endowed chairs and all of this. Well, to some extent that has happened, but a lot remains to be seen whether we're going to pull that off. In the meantime, however, something perhaps unexpected has occurred, and that is that there has been a recognition by the full panoply of disciplines that they need what spirituality is talking about to be integrated into their disciplines. And so, wouldn't it be fascinating if the future of the academic study of Christian spirituality will not take place in another narrow silo, but be an influence that permeates and leavens all the disciplines? And I believe that as the society faithfully shows up year after year at the American Academy of Religion, this is already happening across the spectrum of what religion studies. And beyond that, to disciplines like business and education and medicine, well beyond the normal purview of of religion. It's really very exciting. But what it introduces, though, is the fact that the people who will be the contributors need to have a certain hybrid character to them. They're going to need competency in the discipline as a discipline, but also know something about what they're talking about when they talk to people with MBAs or physician's assistants or mental health professionals. And so the hybrid scholar has to be humble because they don't measure up quite to the same level of absolute mastery, but they nonetheless have a critical role to play. And I see that as the future.
Thank you for that. I myself am a scholar of literature fundamentally,
Yes, yes.
and I came to the society myself
Specimen number
looking for
one.
what you're describing. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, so me, Glenn, me, yeah. Here's the last question for you. What would you counsel to someone who's looking to join the society for the study of Christian spirituality? What might they expect to find in the society, and what would you hope they might bring to it?
Oh, they bring a lot. We need those voices. There's a tendency when you come into a society like this to keep your head down a little bit and maybe even feel a little insecure and intimidated if you stumble across a scholar who's really exceptional. But we need these voices because you bring expertise, you bring perspective that's unique, and we need to hear in a place where we are hospitable to one another, hospitable to one another's struggles to articulate truth. But I would say to you, in addition to validating your voice, I would say recognize that the main purpose of this society is community. It's the cultivation of relationships. And so none of us nowadays can afford to just sit back and have other people be hospitable to us. We have to reach out in gestures of welcome and to take initiatives and forge these connections, these networking possibilities that are so enriching and so essential to doing good work. So I would just underscore it's about community. Help us to create and sustain that in both its interpersonal, in face-to-face and digital and typing ways. And I
Fantastic.
would just say too, maybe dial back your hopes of getting a full-time position in spirituality. Plan your strategy so that you have some claim to hybridity, even if the other competence is within the umbrella of religion. Don't be too narrow in your preparations. It will be well worth your while to have a broader footprint if you can possibly pull that off.
Very wise, Glenn. Thank you so much for your perspective, your wisdom, and your work in the society and for the journal Spiritus. It's wonderful. We're grateful for you.
Grateful for you, Matt. Thanks for this chance to share a little.